It's your boy Mo Better from Mo Better Publishing Productions LLC and the mini group Let Me Make You Famous in connection with I Deserve a Deal. And now, Collective Minds LLC. Excuse me. And tonight I'm going to talk about something that is like very, very powerful and potent. And, looking at anything, I've been back in school, been doing a lot of studying and research, and I do it anyway, but more so due to personal situations. And I would like for people to pay attention to what I'm really about to say now. You look at a video I did, it's called The Transgenderization of the Black Man and Woman. And it's about how we have been transgendered. Not in the doctor's office. And this is not physical. But we have been psychologically transgendered. And you need to look that up, read that up first. And it's why it is being done. And it's being done because, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But I do know that conspiracies exist. And I also know that we as humans, as people of color, have been the most extraordinary people that have ever touched the planet. The first people that ever touched the planet. Not necessarily saying black, because black does not mean of color, but of color. Humans, hue, meaning of color, having color content. But since that, we have also, anybody that have met us has found us to be extraordinary. And also to try to devour and destroy us. To keep us down in places like the situations of the crabs in a bucket. And I say that to say, like when you look at the situation of transgenderization of the black man and woman is to make the woman the provider and make the man the submissive. You transferred that. And I want people to think about it like this. It's like there are many men that are qualified to have the job that you have as a woman. But that man is denied that job with all of his qualities, but it's given to you. When you read the transgenderization of the black man and woman, you will see I began to start talking about plans, things of that nature. I define words that are being used in the situations that, on the demonstrations that they put down. And when you look at plan, you come up with scheme, things of that nature, projects, and experiments. These words come up when you start looking at the process of how they've been dealing with us since they have met us. When I say they, I'm not just talking about Caucasian people. I'm talking about the people of power, period, who range even to those of color. As long as you are going with the agenda, you're part of the plan. But when you start looking at the transgenderization of the black man, transgenderization of the black man and woman, you look at how he's making the woman, using the woman against us. Get to degrees to where a woman is now telling a man, get out of my house. Not because he's done something wrong, but just because she has the ability to. She has the power to. And these are the situations that they have been doing with us for years now. Like transgenderization of the black man and woman is scientific, it's history. It's scientific, it's history, it's biblical. We can go through the Quran, we can go through multiple situations. It's there. Please excuse me. It's there. And again, through personal situations I've been going through, I'm writing like even deeper into my studies and things of that nature, specific situations. And you have situations of when you start dealing with, again, this is the psychological transformation psychological transformation or transgenderization of the black man and woman. This is psychological, not physically. Psychological situations are always stronger as well until you break them, but they can be broken in most cases. Now, today I'm going to look up a thing. It's called the female narcissism. There's a symptom in the psychosis that's called psychopath narcissism. When I talk about psychopath narcissism, You understand that there's a psychopath. He's crazy, abnormal. Then you have narcissism, thinking of self so much to degrees to where if you look at, there's a guy named Narcissus, where his tale comes from, that he was so stuck on himself that he fell in love with himself. And he sat at the pond one day and looked at his reflection in the pond and became so obsessed with his reflection that he actually fell into the water and he drowned himself. What does that have to do with what I'm talking about? Let's watch this. It says, it used to be that the word narcissist wasn't thrown around lightly. We saved it for psychopaths and historical figures like Machiavelli and Napoleon. Female examples were rare and generally found in fiction. Rebecca of the Daphne, du Maurier novelle, Gloria Swanson as Norman Desmond in the 1950 film Sunset Boulevard. In its worst form, it is diagnosable personality disorder, NPD, and historically 75% of those diagnosed with NPD have been male. However, researchers have recently studied narcissistic personality traits in the American population, says it is an epidemic, increasing just as fast as obesity since the 1980s, and that much of the growth comes from women. Twenge and Campbell, authors of the narcissist epidemic, studied 37,000 college students in 2006 in an effort to understand modern levels of self-involvement. Now remember, narcissism means to be so encapsulated into self, right? Excuse me. A small glass of wine. Quench the thirst and moisten the lips. In 1982, just 15% of the college kids scored high on the narcissistic personality inventory, but that number has risen to 25%, largely due to a greater number of narcissistic women. In the 1950s, just 12% of respondents agreed with the statement, I am an important person. By the 1980s, 80% of the women felt special. In 1967, 45% of American students felt that being well off is an important life goal, financially, materially. By 2004, 74% agreed to that statement. Nearly 10% of 20-somethings are thought to have NPD, and it's estimated that 26% of people now in their 20s will have developed NPD by the age of 65. Now again, remember that is narcissistic personality inventory, or it's narcissistic personality disorder. Women narcissistic often are diagnosed also with the subset histrionic personality disorder. A personality disorder is characterized by a pattern of excessive emotionality and attention seeking, including an excessive need for approval and inappropriate seductiveness, usually beginning in early adulthood. These individuals are lively, dramatic, enthusiastic, and flirtatious. They may be inappropriately sexually provocative, express strong emotions with an impressionistic style, and be easily influenced by others. Associated features may include egocentrism, self-indulgence, continuous longing for continuous longing for appreciation, feelings that are easily hurt, and persistent manipulative behavior to achieve their own needs. Female narcissists focus more heavily on physical appearance than male narcissists. They often overestimate their own attractiveness and focus on display of flaunting physical attributes. Scientists think that there may be a link between narcissism and anorexia or bulimia. So you got that girl that's going on these multiple diets and things of that nature, always talking about her weight and what she needs to be missing and nothing is wrong with being nice and fine and things of that and getting yourself together, but when you start looking at situations of anorexia and bulimia, then it becomes an issue. Now, listen to this. What caused the narcissistic epidemic? there was a far less social pressure to demonstrate character than in past generations. Daughters who once would have been disciplined for spoiled behavior are now allowed to dictate the dinner menu or veto a family movie or even a move. The self-esteem movement, was intended to create happy, friendly children, produced a generation of kids who filled their rooms with participant trophies and congratulated themselves for showing up. In fact, Twenge and Campbell found that 30% of students felt that they should get good grades just for attending class. Indeed, grade inflation at the country's best universities is a serious problem, and Cornel West was rumored to have regularly given all A's in his course at Harvard. During the 1960s, the core American value of individualism began to morph into a self-admiration. The human potential movement stressed introspection and self-improvement, intending self-actualization. However, the concept of self-esteem became a shortcut to the hard work of real personal change. During the 1970s and 80s, Americans began obsessed with celebrity culture, and eating disorders skyrocketed. Today, social media breeds narcissism by constantly encouraging women to post flattering photos and create online profiles that stress their uniqueness. Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube all require self-promotion, bringing out the narcissist in us. Reality shows promote the most ordinary, unimpressive people as special, and we follow their dysfunctional lives with fascination. As Twenge and Campbell pointed out, when I was growing up, it was normal to hear the following kinds of remarks from parents. Who do you think you are? Just wait until your father gets home. Because I said so, that's why. My generation became parents and flipped the script. So the younger the parent, the less the child began to understand and be dealt with and taught morals, principles, standards, honor, and loyalty. We began to justify our decisions at general length when our children disagree with us. We have up our own interest to spend hours building. We upped it. We don't even do it no more. Remember spending hours building Lego structures with our kids, or ensuring that our little soccer player got all the development she would need to get recruited to play in college someday? But her main or his main goal was also the education, not the sport itself. Psychologists used to believe that narcissism resulted from emotional damage in childhood at the hands of cold, neglectful parents and abuses. However, the situation is that coupled with that, the data has widely accepted that narcissism grows from inflated feedback as well. American parents want super achieving children, and we've insisted we have them, even if we have to create the fiction. Instead, we've created a generation of special little snowflakes. Now, there's one of the members of Collective Minds LLC has a post up, and I'm going to put it up there. And when I saw that, I said I was going to make this post because I've been studying it. Excuse me. And I want people to understand that just this is there are female narcissists, to where situations are now to where marriage is really not marriage. Well, I might go for the ring and go for the party and things of that nature, but it's not really that. Women began to think, I begun to think like men. I can have sex with you if I want to, and that's it. I'm cool with that. We can keep it moving. Hold no emotions. Actually show no natural affection. Lie, are manipulative, deceitful, all for their own goals and the goals of self. What about the situation of attention seeking to the degrees to where you are twerking, you're on the news, or not the news, but you're on the social media almost naked? You got your babies twerking and things of that nature. It's no longer anything about morals, principles, standards, honor, and loyalty. It's about, look at me. No matter how I present myself, look at me. Sex is no longer something that is considered to be special or sacred. It's what I want to do. I want to get mine in. Like the men used to do that y'all call dogs. Get it? Understand it? See, the situation is this also is that I want you to understand that women like are made. See, there's a difference between the female narcissist and the male narcissist. When you look up the male narcissist and you study him, you'll see that he can be this person. He can just be a cruel individual. He can just think of self. He can get into a relationship for what it is that he can get materially, monetarily, or for the ego, or for the pride. But women are made like this. Our women are made like this through abuses and what do you call it? Trickery. Dudes tricking you. How you doing? Well, baby, I'll get your hair done. I can get your nails done. I can pay that car note. So they begin to feel that this is what is going to see, because the man, you're the lead, you're the head. She's going to follow and pay attention to you. So as this happens so many times, guess what she begins to believe? That that's what she's worth. I don't have to go to work. My pretty is going to get me through life, not understanding or overstanding that in a minute your pretty is going to be gone. Black will crack if you misuse it. But the thing is, our women are being groomed and trained to be this way. And we're going to revert back to Huey Newton, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. Some of these people stood up for us. What you want to do? These my people. This my woman. This my queen. This my family. This my neighborhood. This is my community. And we stood up. But they have begun to break us down and get rid of all those people. Those who would stand up. And you see them bi-weekly on news killing unarmed black men like we back in slavery days. And I ask you, why is that? They want to see, in my mind, does not mean that it's written in stone, but I was something that I want you to think about. In my mind, they're seeing who they have to stand up. Who's going to rebel against us? Who's going to rebut us? Do we need to really bring out the military in these neighborhoods to do what we need to do to hold these people down if they retaliate against us for what we are doing? And since they see a degree to where we are not doing that as the black man anymore, we're not really defending our communities, our families, our children, our women. It's now to revert that back to the women. Remember in slavery days, what they did to the big buck because he protected his woman, they killed him and they got rid of him and things of that nature, right? So guess what they did? They used her against us. Guess what she would say? Baby, this ain't nothing but some sex. He just gonna do what he wanna do with me, and then it's gonna be over with, but I still got you here. I need you here. Right? Remember that? He used her emotions and love for us against us. He did that same thing when he transgendered us. When he made her the provider and made us almost like the stay-at-home mom. You see what I'm saying? Now guess what it's getting ready to go back to? He has us where he wants us, predominantly. He's getting ready to go back to our sisters. He's getting ready again begin to rape, molest, degrade, and deteriorate our women to degrees to where he's back committing a genocide. We're no longer just doing it ourselves. What happens when he begins to do this? Black or human, the hue in the skin is the predominant gene. However, if it continues and continues to begin to be mixed and taken off, and she don't even want to deal with us, guess what happened? Just like back then, like Denzel Washington said in the movie, The Great Debaters, when he was talking about the situation of Willie Lynch. You do this in front of the women and the children because guess what happened? That woman begins to teach her children what to do. And guess what they do? They begin to breed sports players. They begin to breed bucks. They begin to breed produce, something with no brain to actually function for itself. So in the situation I'm going through, I'm thinking like in myself and personally, like, I hate it. I loved and still love my wife, but I would not been able to watch what's going on that's getting ready to happen. They got us, and they have created a situation to where, guess what? She don't trust us. And a lot of us are looking at her like, remember what you did to me, so guess what we'll do? We'll sit back and watch whatever happened to her because it's get back to us. It's get back for us. Well, guess what? They winning. That is degrading. That is powerful, and that is very, very scary to me. And when you think about it, it's like when they get to that degree, that's where it started from. They looked at our women and they destroyed our women. And they made our women protect us, but then they switched the game now to the degrees is now. We don't trust each other. So now we have no one to go back to. Even though she's being molested and raped and going through the things that she's getting ready to begin to go through, guess what? She won't even come to us because she has been psychologically believed that she can't trust us. She can't deal with us. She should not deal with us. So guess what happens? She will continue to allow whatever is happening to happen because she has nobody to turn to. Brothers, it's time to step up. I'm not saying grab your guns and your hammers and let's walk on Wall Street, let's walk on the White House. But what I'm saying is, whatever you're doing at home, man, it's time to really be a man. It's really time to man up. Start educating your children. Start educating your woman. Start doing what you're supposed to do. Like they transgendered us, retransgender. The majority of these situations that we deal with are all psychological, and what they did is created habits in us. Guess what's going on with a habit? Habits can be broken, good or bad. Like they took the goodness from us. Bad association spoils use for habits. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Guess what good association does? This is why Collective Minds LLC has been created. And this is why it exists. It's good association. Those who are trying, and not just trying, those who are seeking education and educating those who are in the circle and the cipher that they're in. I want you to think about that though. They are actually made to fight you, actually made to degrade you, actually made to do without you in order so that the real culprit, the real wolf in sheep clothing, the real snakes, the real vipers in the tall grass can come in and carry them away. And guess what they would do as a woman, being the emotional side of man? Cry and go to the degrees to where in your mind you just begin to accept what is as what is. Deep and it's dangerous. But I believe that's where we are. That's where we're going. That's where they're taking us. Think about it. People, let's grow together. We need one another now more so than we've ever needed anything else, because what they are doing is breeding us just like they bred the slaves. This situation is to degrees to where, again, they're going to breed us for what they want to breed us for. Penitentiary at $42,000 a head every time we go to the penitentiary. And that's what we breeding our kids for. Because the daddy is not there being the father is not there being the daddy, and the mother is trying to be both, and guess what? She can't be. But she's being told that she can be. Like I got a sister that I talk to on Facebook, and a lot of times we argue back and forth, debate, and she doesn't understand the gist of what I'm saying now. She thinks she argued with me just to argue with me, to prove how important and powerful she is, when I can tell her up front how powerful and potent she is. But she would still argue with me about, this was done for this, and this was, you missing the gist. It's not just about you individually. This is about a people. This is about the masses. And this is what they are doing to the masses. Again, this is powerful. This is potent, people. It's time to come together. Hey, say anything that you want to have from a black man, put in the book. It's time to open them. Switch positions for a minute because I was in the process of doing some other things. But it's still the same thing, and we have to stop fighting one another. One of the greatest tactics in war ever performed was divide and conquer. And we really have to understand that what That is what has been going on and what is going on, from the house nigga to the field nigga, to the lighter skin to the darker skin. And that's what's going on all the way down into our housing relationships, which is why I put the post on Collective Minds LLC about the sister talking about post-trauma all the way from slavery, being that we don't just pass down psychological, or we don't just pass down physical characteristics, the nose, the eyes, the lips, and things of that nature. We also pass down psychological traits. And we have been fighting one another for so long that we carried into our relationships, and we boyfriend fight the girlfriend, beef with the kids, beef with the husband and the wife, and things of that nature. And that is divide and conquer, because it breaks up the house. And guess what starts in the home? The foundation. Morals, principles, standards, honor, loyalty, the things that actually make a woman a woman, and the things that actually make a man a man. There's a manhood and womanhood. And this is being destroyed by us, has been. And the thing is, we need to catch this, and we need to stop fighting this, because the following is where we're headed. Back to slavery. Time to come together. Trust and believe what I tell you.